Wait no longer. Greatness has arrived. Welcome to the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players, where it's here on this very podcast. I, your host, Joseph, along with my best friend Kyle, talk about the latest and greatest in all things PlayStation news. And along with me, making his grandiose return, the greatest co-host who ever is, whoever will be, Mr. Kyle Stevenson. How are you, sir?
I miss you, Joe. I'm doing great. Oh, this feels good.
Oh,
there's just something that bums me out when I miss this show, and it's the last 2 weeks have not been because I've been sick, because that's usually my MO. It's just it's actually computer problems, and I wanted to do the show so badly, but we're here.
Yeah.
So far, so good.
It's you know what?
Jam-packed show, Joe.
It's
jam-packed show,
dude. So first things first, I just want to thank all of our guests. Patches Play Games last week. Man, what a show. What a creator. Please go check her out. She's seriously so talented. And yeah, Kyle, it's been 2 weeks and we're finally reunited again. And it feels so dang good. That's an original quote, by the way.
You know what I thought this morning, Joe?
What's that?
The last time we did this, I had to listen to you and your awful top 10 list. And I had to fight against you. And how dare you is all I gotta say. I have to officially on the trophy room just say, how dare you?
Well, first off, you won, so
yes,
you know what?
I did. But Infamous is our #1 game because of you.
Well, I'm a real son of a bitch, Kyle. But with that, yeah, so we raised money to prevent cancer for one of our friends, and Katie Berto. We had a giveaway, and I wanted to hold that off until right now. And so congratulations, famous Seamus. Please let one of us know. We'll get into slide in our DMs. We'll send that sweet-ass PlayStation mug your way. With that, Kyle, we have a lot of things to talk about because when the last time you were on, Insomniac wasn't bought by PlayStation. We didn't know the gameplay of Death Stranding. We only saw leaks.
Jeff Keighley was in it.
Yeah, we didn't know that Norman Reedus could pee. We only had brief rumors about it. Urethras are in the game. It's confirmed. But before we talk about Marvel's Avengers or Death Stranding or even some bad GameStop news, I want to get to know one thing, Kyle. What have you been playing?
Oh, man. So I have one game, and I'm sorry it might bore a lot of you. And I've been on the show for a while, so you know my take on Madden and how bad I feel like it's going downhill. The new story mode, the QB1 face of the franchise type thing, intrigued me enough for me to go buy it and try it out.
Ooh, okay.
It was okay. I'm not thrilled with it. It's a good start. Yeah. The whole mode where they have story beats and actors and there's a story is only like an hour and a half. And then it goes into their boring and bland franchise mode, and that's it. You get text messages from the characters from the story mode, but it's pretty much you're just doing franchise mode with a few little tweaks here and there, and it's a big bummer. The gameplay has never been better. Using a running back, running between the offensive line and defensive line are vastly improved. But I just I don't think we'll talk about it later, but seeing the NBA 2K20 story mode trailer that was out from Gamescom, that is what I want from an NFL story, and it's not. And it just hurts. It just hurts. I want 2K to get NFL license back because I know they'll kill it. But that will never, ever happen. But Madden's okay.
They got Anthony Mackie, right, on 2K?
Oh, well, 2K this year is Idris Elba, Rosario Dawson, Ernie Hudson, Jaleel White,
First off,
Thomas
stop right there.
Middleditch.
Stop right there.
It's insane.
Stop right there. Idris Elba and the girl from Clerks 2, Rosario Dawson, the nurse from Daredevil, also the love of my life, and Jesus Christ, wave me down, hose me down with something fierce. Also, Idris Elba, dreamy individual. How do they get them on 2K of all games?
I don't know, but I'm super excited. I think you can actually start the story mode now as a demo before the game releases.
Oh my god, so that's dope.
I'm excited.
See, it seems like Madden just kind of came and then it just went, right? Like, this year especially, like I was surprised it came out this early in the month. It's just like, oh, Madden's here, and then bam.
Well, they got to hit when preseason starts, so that's usually what happens. But
right.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like there was a lot of build up before it, but now that it's out, it's kind of like the same old thing with like few minor tweaks.
Yeah.
But like I said, the gameplay's never been better. I just want a little bit more pull than just going in and playing the same stuff over and over and over again.
Yeah. So first things first for me. You can see that I've been recording with these awesome SteelSeries headsets. Ooh. I did a review on them on Bad Bit Games. Are they one of the best headsets I've ever owned? Spoiler alert, yes, but you should still watch the video. Please help me out. And at the same exact time, I wanted to test these out with a new game, right? Because we get in these slumps all the time where we need a new game to play. And then like you just don't know what to pick. Okay, and I was talking to Patches, and I just felt like I need to bring it up to you. I gave the community a chance to vote on Witcher or the Persona.
Oh, I think I know where you're going with this.
Okay. Witcher 1. Guess what I played last week, Kyle?
You played Bloodborne.
I played the shit out of Bloodborne, Kyle. Fuck you. It's number 5 on our list, Kyle. Yeah, man. I beat Rom the Vacuous Spider. I think that's his name. He's a real piece of shit. You just make up words right there? Honest to God, Adam Leonard, I'm serious when I say this. That's the name of the boss. I have no idea what that word means. I'm not even going to try to pretend. What is it? Have like a vacuum? I have no idea. But it's a piece of shit boss and I hate it. Space. Oh, is it? Okay.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Oh, it's the worst, dude. I hate that boss. It's literally like, to me, it's the worst boss in the game. Every other boss I beat, I'm not joking you, Kyle. There's only 3 bosses that I died once on, and Rom I died twice on. But every other boss I've beaten in 1 try. So I don't like to brag, but I'm pretty good in this game.
Vacuous. Having or showing a lack of thought or intelligence, mindless / empty.
Yeah, that's what I would like to think about when I'm looking at that dumb turd looking boss.
That's my soul every time you mention Bloodborne.
It's the game of the generation, Kyle. It's the game of the generation. So yeah, no, I've been also playing a game, but it's redacted. I can't talk on it yet. So yeah, next week you'll hear about something. You'll hear about something, all right. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. Kyle, let's just get straight to the news, man. We got so much to talk about.
Joy.
Oh, and you know what makes me so happy? I don't have to read any of this shit, Kyle. Not even a single solitary bit of it. Kyle, what is the first news story on the goober?
This comes from Rebecca Valentine over at GameIndustry.biz. Sony acquires Insomniac Games. Sony has purchased Spider-Man and Ratchet & Clank studio Insomniac Games for an undisclosed amount. Much of Insomniac's catalog over the years has appeared on Sony PlayStation consoles, including last year's Marvel's Spider-Man, which Sony revealed today has sold over 13.2 million copies. Insomniac also has a number of games on the Oculus Rift that have not yet reached PlayStation VR. Sony says that day-to-day operations are expected to be run by the same management team alongside the Sony Interactive Entertainment San Mateo studio. Quote, Insomniac Games is one of the most highly acclaimed development studios in the industry, and their legacy of best-in-class storytelling and gameplay is unparalleled, said Sean Layden, chairman of SIE Worldwide Studios. We have enjoyed a strong collaborative partnership with the studio for many years, and are thrilled to officially welcome them to the Worldwide Studios family. The addition of Insomniac Games to SIE Worldwide Studios reiterates our commitment to developing world-class gaming experiences that can only be found on the PlayStation platform.
Oh my God. This happened in the middle of opening night Gamescom show. Jeff Keighley's like, holy crap, guys, on Twitter right now, Sony has purchased Insomniac. And with that, I freaked out. I literally yelled, and my mom was like, honey, what's going on up there? And I'm just like, Insomniac got bought out by PlayStation. She was just like, what? Who? I'm like, you don't understand, but this is huge. I need this. So, yeah, this is huge news, man. Insomniac has been working side by side with the likes of Sony. They've had this relationship for decades now. Like, I think Insomniac started in 1994. They made Spyro in, what, like 96, 98, right? And they've had that relationship along the generations, whether it's Spyro, whether it's Ratchet and Clank, whether it's Resistance, whether it's Spider-Man. Kyle,
Yeah.
What does this mean?
Oh, this means so much.
Yeah.
I know, like, was it around E3 or maybe a little bit before, we would have this question like on a couple of weeks of like, oh, is Sony going to buy a studio? Do you remember they were going around to different studios and see what they would buy?
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure you might have said Insomniac.
I've been preaching this for months at this point. I just think it always made sense.
I was a little on the other side just because I thought Insomniac enjoyed the freedom, which is why they made some 360 games after.
Oh, Xbox One game. They made Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah, I know, but going back to
Fuse.
what was that? Fuse. Yeah. So I thought they enjoyed that freedom, so I did not think they would want to be bought out by Sony or Microsoft, by that matter. But this is really big for us as Sony fans because Insomniac is so damn good at what they do. Dude. Just look at Spiderman. It's both of our top 5 game probably of this generation, maybe even all time. Ratchet and Clank is such an iconic game series, just in the overall video game world. And personally, for me, Resistance is like my favorite franchise on PlayStation, which I hope they bring back. It's just like Insomniac is so good, and to me, like I'm gonna put my fanboy hat on for a second.
Put it on, Kyle. We're proud.
I'm gonna turn around so you can see the sacred symbols.
Oh, God, it's beautiful. You look like you're about to drop a line.
Xbox can buy all these studios like Double Fine. Yeah, well, we got Insomniac.
There you go.
You're not the same. Not the same.
Kyle, I love you. Okay, so but like, why are we so excited? Because we're speaking gibberish. We're about to drop verses in an Eminem song. Why are we so excited though? Because you're right. Like a lot of people, I think Emron Com over at on Twitter, who was just like, formerly Game Informer, who was just like, if I wasn't working in games for so long, I would have already assumed Insomniac has been purchased by Microsoft already. Why are we as Sony fans freaking out when they've already had such a tight knit relationship with each other?
I mean, part of me says it's seeing all those super talented studios that Microsoft bought and thinking like Insomniac is up there. Like, what if Microsoft buys them out and like then I won't be able to experience those games? And yes, I can go buy an Xbox, but like knowing that the box that I already have, and that I'll miss out on one of my favorite developers, that stings. And having them just freely float around and not knowing what's going to happen was kind of worrisome for me, especially in this huge push by Microsoft to buying all these super talented people. Absolutely.
So like when I'm looking at it, it's kind of like Insomniac's coming home. You know, it's like it's something that's been long awaited. We've been waiting for this announcement for years, and now it's finally here, and it just feels so right. You know, it's kind of like with Xbox with Playground Games. Playground Games made a slew of Forza games before they were purchased by Microsoft. And that fit for me as an outsider looking in felt so right. If you're a huge Microsoft fan, you felt like that was a huge win, right? Like when they made a coalition, the Gears of War studio, and then Rod Ferguson, the community head, is now the head of that company. It just felt right. So when we see Insomniac come on board, this is the decades of relationship now finally solidifying, right? Like, remember, Naughty Dog and Insomniac were really the staples for the PlayStation 1 and the PlayStation 2. So a sense feels like it's coming home, and that's a great feeling. Another exciting thing is like this brings stability for all those people. Insomniac's a huge company. They're not just doing Spider-Man, you know, they're doing VR stuff as well. So like that's a huge staple that Sony can use to push PlayStation VR forward. There is a catalog of games that are right now on the Oculus Rift and on the Vive that Sony could, who knows, finagle their way into getting those games on the PS VR platform, but also new IP as well. Like, from what I've heard about the lineup that Insomniac has when it comes to their VR titles, is they're really great. I think one of them is called Spellbound, I think. And it's actually like you're creating spells and you're shooting them at people. And it looks super sick. So to me, I'm just like, you have a talented developer who is now printing you money with Spider-Man, right? Which is at the end of this generation, by everything said and done, it will be the top selling game of that console, exclusive wise. You have them with this huge lineup of IP that they can use, and then you have also this just company that understands VR. So there's three facets of, yeah, we can go into the back catalog and revive a few IP or use some that we have been kind of using, like Ratchet and Clank. We'll get to that in a second. And at the same exact time, we can have them make VR stuff, and they are intimate with the platform. So that's why I get so excited. So the first question comes from Mr. Glorious One. Yeah. Dude, I am so happy. Mr. Moody, I am so happy you're doing all right. He asks, do you think Sony will make a Sunset Overdrive 2?
That's the question. That is the question. One of the first things that popped in my head was like, ooh, can I play Sunset Overdrive on my PlayStation soon? Well, because I've heard so many good things, but I don't know who owns what.
And I believe Sean Layden, I could be wrong, mentioned that they do own Sunset Overdrive IP. That is Insomniac. Yeah. But the first game does belong to Microsoft. Gotcha. So unless there's some type of like wait time, like Alan Wake, or Insomniac wants to outright buy that title, I don't think we're getting another Sunset Overdrive. And also, a lot of that team
went to Spidey, right?
Went to Spidey, like Brian Intihar. He's at Spidey. He's the creative director. So, unfortunately, I don't think that means we're going to get a Sunset Overdrive 2. As much as I'd like it,
yeah,
I just don't think that's the case. And we'll go to our next question. Emmett Watkins asks, do you want the very next thing to come out of Insomniac to be not that they're a part of, what do you want to see?
Now that
they're a part of PlayStation, would you like to see them make a Resistance game, Ratchet and Clank, or Spider-Man 2, or a new IP, or a combination of the two? Oh my god, you give us too many options.
Can I go all three? Like that's where my head is at, because every single one of those IPs, in my opinion, are golden. They're like surefire gonna be great games. My love for Resistance knows no bounds. I love those games. I think that is something that PlayStation is missing, is like that exclusive first-person shooter type thing, which would be cool to have Resistance back. I mean, what can you say about Ratchet and Clank? Like, the PS4 exclusive reimagining reboot is near perfect in my platforming, what's the word I'm looking for? Connoisseurness?
Yeah.
No, that's not a word.
As your love for platformers.
Yeah. And like Spider-Man 2, of course, we both want Spider-Man 2.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And the way they dangled that little Easter egg at the end.
Oh, god damn, dude.
So, no matter what they decide to do next, I'm ready for it. I can wait for Spider-Man. I can wait for it. Obviously, if they come out and like, hey, Resistance is the next thing, I'll be over the moon. But realistically, I think Ratchet and Clank is going to be the first game back.
Honest to God, I think that's the case too. I think they want Spider-Man in the tank. I don't think they're going to, I don't even think that's like a launch window. I actually think that's like a year 2, maybe year 3 thing. Yeah. I think they really want the install base to be there before they shoot out Spider-Man. But I actually think that this, we don't have the quote here, but Sean would never lie to me, Layden. He said, we're very much interested in Spider-Man and Ratchet and Clank, and he used that in the quote. So I actually think this screams we're getting a Ratchet and Clank game as one of the PlayStation 5 launch titles. I think awesome. That shows the graphical capabilities. That is, for no pun intended, the knack of that launch title, where it's a family game, anybody can go and purchase it. And again, it's Insomniac, it's Ratchet and Clank, and we go along this rebooted path with Ratchet. So that's what I think we're gonna get from them, and I'm really excited. But yeah, I do also think Resistance is now a very strong possibility too. They've been teasing a lot on Twitter about it.
Yeah, I don't care if they continue the story. Like, you could just reboot the first game like you did with Ratchet.
Yeah.
Oh god, I want to destroy some Chimera. One of my favorite video game guns are in Resistance,
Okay.
the Auger.
Okay.
The one where you can shoot through walls, and oh god, it's so good. So good.
Hold it there.
Yes,
hold it there.
I'm holding
Because
it.
our friends at Nintendo Dual Screens asks, do you see Sony snatching up any other studios before the end of the year? ... Like Remedy, perhaps. So, Kyle, you're back. Welcome. I'm glad to have you here. We're running on just...
You're stretching.
Oh, God. It's like 100 miles an hour to the finish. You know what I mean? So with that, I want you to close your eyes and pretend if you were Shu. You are now in the shoes of Shuhei Yoshida himself, the president of the first-party Sony Interactive Entertainment, and your job? To purchase another studio. What is the studio you're going to be purchasing? And why?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Can I say Remedy's a good guess.
Remedy's a good guess. They get weird, dude. They love getting weird.
Oh, I think I know.
What's that?
I got one.
What's that?
Blue Point.
Ooh.
Buying up that Blue Point goodness.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. So, yeah, if you guys don't know, just tuning in, Blue Point, they make all the remasters.
So, Shadow Colossus,
Yep.
Nathan Drake trilogy.
Yep.
Whatever they're working on, which is supposedly crazy.
Yeah. And original, I think, as well. I think they're working on original IP and another remaster. They also did the Metal Gear Solid PS3 remasters as well. So, they've done a lot of... They have a great relationship. I don't see why not. I think that'd be an awesome pick. I think... Can I get even weirder with you?
Oh, get weird.
All right. There's this little game coming out, and I don't know how to feel about it. It's their last story. They're going to definitely buy Kojima Productions.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's just a shoo-in at this point. Oh, no pun intended. Yeah.
I don't want to jump the gun, but you mentioned something right before we recorded.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think that's a little taste of what you just hinted at?
So right now, we just got word right before we started the show, which was just like, oh, it's good that, we did this. Game Rant, and let me get the person who did who put this up. Raymond Hera. Right now on Game Rant, there's been a little... God, what can I say? A little he said, she said on whether or not Death Stranding is an actual exclusive. They took it off their exclusive list on PlayStation.com, but the report here says, it states, and I quote, earlier this month, reports surfaced that Hideo... Oh my God, I ruined that one. Kojima's Death Stranding is no longer listed as a PS4 exclusive, after Sony's official PlayStation site in Australia removed the up-and-coming game from its exclusive list. Now it appears that the game is a PS4 exclusive again. In a photo posted by Hideo Kojima on Twitter, the developer is seen posing in front of the Death Stranding poster with the label exclusive for PlayStation written in German. So yeah, I think this could be something. I definitely think Sony wants to, they see Microsoft buying up these studios. They want to be competitive as well. They see the future over the horizon. And they want to get in on this, but they want to purchase, I think, games that scream PlayStation. And for me, Kojima screams PlayStation just like Insomniac screamed PlayStation as well. I think it fits the culture that Sony is trying to make, which is these weird ass games that just click for people. So that's what I actually think.
Not to mention, like, Kojima transcends platforms.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, on name alone, and the fact that if they buy Kojima Productions, you can only play his vision and his quirky ass games only on PlayStation. Yeah, that's a huge get.
Yeah. With that, that's been the first bit of news. Whew, we spent a while on that. Insomniac, welcome aboard, gang. But now we got some bad news. Kyle, would you like to read the second news on the Goober?
This comes from Owen S. Good over at Polygon. Driveclub shuts down in 2020. The servers for Driveclub, Driveclub VR, and Driveclub Bikes all go dark on March 31st, 2020. Before then, August 31st, 2019, the games and all of their DLC will be delisted from the PlayStation Network store. After all this goes down, only the single-player modes will be playable. For a game predicated so much on multiplayer interaction, that ain't much. And of course, all the social components are no more too.
That's sad, man. This
sad.
sucks. Like, I mean, say what you want about Drive Club. I know it had a troubled development. From what I understood, they turned it around, but a little bit too late. I know that I mean, talk about studios that were just recently bought. That Evolution was terminated shortly after that game. So this is a really sucky thing to see as digital becomes more and more prevalent. This sucks. You know, I would love to be the fly on the wall and to see how many people are actually playing this game. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's the judgment call. But what are your thoughts on this? To me, it sucks for game preservation.
Oh, yeah. That's why I love my physical games on my shelf, because I hear the stories of these games no longer being, like, you can no longer buy them on digital stores or like, even having a physical game, the servers could shut down and will shut down eventually. But it just sucks. Like, I know Evolution Studios, they went through all those layoffs, and it sucks, and I'm sorry for everybody. But I will always think of Drive Club in kind of like a happy memory.
Okay.
Just because, like, when PS4 was first announced, I remember seeing the technical demos for that and be like, holy shit, the PlayStation 4 is super powerful.
Yeah.
Like, look how pretty that looks. And just, I think they helped push what the PS4 could look like in terms of games and stuff. And it just, I mean, yeah, you can still play the single player stuff, but it stinks.
Yeah, it does. It really sucks. Yeah. And with that, we got some even more bad news.
Oh, man.
This comes from Matt Kim from IGN. Ooh, God.
GameStop confirms over 120 layoffs. GameStop has confirmed layoffs at its corporate headquarters, which has affected over 120 corporate employees, or 14% of the total associate workforce at the company headquarters. In a statement to IGN, GameStop confirmed that it initiated the layoffs as part of its GameStop Reboot initiative. Quote, "We can confirm a workforce reduction was implemented, impacting more than 120 corporate staff positions, representing approximately 14% of our total associate base at our company headquarters, as well as at some other offices," end quote, GameStop said. The layoffs come at a time when Game Informer, a video game print publication published by GameStop, also announced a series of layoffs to its editorial staff.
Yeah, they had, surprisingly enough, because, you know, the Game Informer show is a big influence on me. It's a great podcast. The people that are on it are amazing, and it really sucks to hear. And when I think about Game Informer, I actually think like they would be this bigger organization, right? But only 19 people working there, 7 of which editors were laid off. And, you know, there was a little bit more to this quote of like, we will help. This is a PR robot speaking. We will help them at our best to make sure that they land on their feet. Beep, boop, beep, boop, beep. And Imran Khan, formerly of Game Informer, was just like, he tweeted out going, "My insurance runs out at the end of the month. Thank you, GameStop corporate." And it's just like, that absolutely sucks. And this is more of that digital future we're talking about, and how it's affecting not just retail like it is right now, not just how it's affecting digital, but how it's affecting publication, and what happens to what's going to happen to Game Informer as time progresses. Because again, they have a great podcast, they got a great website. What's the restructuring they're going to look like too? You know,
it's also like the last great video game print that's available. Yeah, I can't think of another one that is still going strong in at least in the States.
Yeah, and it holds that much impact as well.
Absolutely. Like even I still to this day, as a 32-year-old man, when I go to the mail and I see the Game Informer in my P.O. box, like, I get excited. I get to look at all these new screenshots and learn about all these cool new games that are coming out. And it's scary that we're moving away from what GameStop is, and moving away from these print publications that were such a huge part of my youth, like bringing them into school and reading them and trading old issues with others just to read about new stuff.
I knew a guy who collected them all.
Yeah,
and like that was like his thing, and just like
I don't know if you remember the old PlayStation 1 PSM.
Yep.
Oh,
yep.
that was my jam. I love that. And then when I found out, like I didn't get any more, and then that's how I found out like they were gone. That broke my heart.
I'm sorry, Kyle.
So this just sucks, and my heart goes out to everyone that is affected. I hope you get picked up soon. Yeah, it's a bummer.
Also, unionize, because they would have given you your health benefits for a couple of months if you unionized. So, don't want to get on my pedestal, but unionize. With that, it sucks. Again, I love Game Informer. I still read the magazines as well.
Yeah,
I do. They used to be my thing when I was a kid, man. Like, it's gonna be weird when GameStop goes. It really is. Like, we applaud it in a sick fucking way, but like in actuality, it's like I like going into a GameStop. I never get harassed. You want to pre-order
There's
something?
One store dedicated to our favorite hobby that will just be gone one day.
Gone.
And maybe not just one store, like the store. When you think of like video games, like it sucks.
It does. It's awful. And again, it's just because this company could not foresee this happening, foresee it happening so fast.
And they couldn't keep up.
Could not. So with that, let's get to some Flash news. Are you ready for some Flash news?
I'm ready for some Flash goobers, Joe.
Ooh, Kyle, let's do the first one.
Sammy Barker over at Push Square. FMV thriller Erica is out right now on PS4. PlayStation 4 exclusive FMV thriller Erica has a new heroine, and you can play it right now. English actress Holly Earl has assumed the role of the titular character in the Flavorworks developed title, which sees you making decisions on the fly in order to unfold the mystery of the star's deceased father. As was the case when the title was announced back in 2017, you can play with either a smartphone or a DualShock 4. The release is out now and costs just $9.99.
Cool. And I think this also signals the death of PlayLink. Remember PlayLink?
Oh, I do remember PlayLink. That was a big push by them for a little bit.
What's that? Was it?
Yeah, I mean, where was it? Yeah, it was PSX. They had like a lot of the floor. The last one they had when I went, a lot of the floor was PlayLink. Like PlayLink. Pop sockets were given out like crazy. Like it was kind of a big push.
Okay, so my question for you, Kyle. This is $9.99. There's a platinum trophy on here. Are you gonna try to go for it?
Yes.
Nice.
I love me a good interactive thriller.
Also, can I also be a little? Nathan would hate me over in the Casa de Bad Bit Discord if I didn't mention. I bought My Name's Mayo.
Welcome to the club.
Welcome to the party, pal. So so I'm like, if I bought this for a freaking $1, I can support something creative for 10. You know what I mean?
Something that actual work was put in.
Yeah. With that, let's get to our next goober on the Flash news.
I apologize if I get your name wrong. I am Croft.
Oh, Liam. I think it's Liam.
Oh, okay. Liam Croft over at Push Square. Call of Duty Modern Warfare alpha test hits PS4 this weekend. No PS Plus required. 5 maps will be on offer throughout the weekend, allowing you to take in the scenes as you team up with a buddy for 2v2 action. It will only be around for a couple days, but a full beta will be available next month for those that pre-order. The best thing about this alpha test is that anyone with an internet connection and the ability to download it can play. An active PlayStation Plus subscription is not required to gain access.
Kyle, are you going to try this out?
Nope.
Damn, dude, I need someone to play with.
I'm not a Call of Duty multiplayer person.
I want to test it out. I want to see what the hubbub's all about. I'm not this person that's going to, shit on this game I haven't seen because of the things I've heard. Sure. I have a really long history with Call of Duty. A lot of people like to shit on the series, so let's get real for a sec. Finest Hour, Call of Duty 2, one of my favorite Call of Duty games. There's this big hubbub about white phosphorus being used as a kill streak. White phosphorus burns your insides when breathed in, so it's not a fun time. It's against the Geneva Code, and a lot of people are freaking out. And then we're also forgetting that you could call in a tactical nuke and melt people's skins off and shoot them with guns. So I think we really need to get a fucking grip. I really think we need to get a little bit of a grip on this, because when I look at Call of Duty, I look at the history of Call of Duty, and I love Call of Duty because it gave me that entry into history and my love for history. Like Age of Empires and Call of Duty are the reason why I'm infatuated with history, with U.S. history, with U.S. politics, with U.S. foreign affairs. And it all goes because I watched a scene in Call of Duty 2, the D-Day scene, and thought it was so cool. And then I researched it and I was like, actually, this isn't cool. This is horrible as fuck. Yeah. And there was a different, not like, I'm going to say appreciation, but it's a wrong term, I think. But I had a different appreciation for what that game series can offer. And it's only until it got, let's run on walls, you're now a cyborg, that things got a little stupid. But to me, like, I wanted to know what an AC-130 did. And then when I realized it, I looked at it differently. You know, I understood like nuclear warfare a little bit better because, yeah, that little tactical nuke. And then like looking it up, whether it's just like Wikipedia or all these other sites, you know, like as a kid, that's what I had to engross myself in history. And so if it actually wasn't for Call of Duty and like weapons of war, like the M1 Garand, and me being infatuated with it and understanding what these things were actually capable of, I wouldn't love history the way I do. So I think we gotta get over it a little bit, and I want to see it for myself before I throw it out to the side.
See, Medal of Honor was that for me.
Oh yeah,
I love the old Medal of Honor games.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Again,
like, I get it. We all come at it through different perspectives, but I also think we got to stop being so, you know, we have to stop being so cynical after everything we read, you know. But that's just me. With that, I spent way too long on this. This is a segment within a segment called Yay or Nay. Kyle, would you like to read the headline for us?
Predator Hunting Ground seeks out first PS4 gameplay from Sammy Barker over at Push Square. The footage is early, but the 1987 movie's influence is obvious. We have taken our inspiration from the 87 Predator over the other films because we believe it's the true crown jewel of the IP. Ilphonic's Jared Gerritsen wrote on the PlayStation blog. We hope that fans of the films will see this game as a bit of a love letter to the film. That being said, our game takes place a few decades in the future, so we needed to incorporate all of the films into the story.
Kyle, we saw this gameplay at Gamescom. What did you think about it? Is this a yay or a nay for you?
Gameplay's still a little early, but I'll say yay. Okay. I like what Ilphonic did with Friday the 13th.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people are like, this looks like a mobile game. This looks like a PS2 game. And I'm like, I understand where it looks rough, but this is Ilphonic. They're a very small studio. And seeing what they did with Friday the 13th, if they could capture that same magic with the Predator, I don't see why this can't be successful. So I am also going to say yay from what I've seen. Let's see if they can do it.
It looks like it's a team of 4 versus computer AI enemies, and then another person is the Predator.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, pretty cool.
Yeah. So I'm on board. I'm on board. Again, I want to see more. I don't want to just shit on something I haven't really seen. With that, what's the next bit of
Brianna Reeves over at PS Lifestyle. 19-minute gameplay demo for Marvel's Avengers may put some concerns to rest. Square Enix has unleashed the full 19-minute 8A prologue for Marvel's Avengers. It features the footage shown off during the E3 2019 demo and additional gameplay for Captain America and Black Widow.
Yay or nay from what you've seen, Kyle?
Yay.
And with that, our question for this little segment comes from Seamus. I know you've talked about it a few weeks ago, and it's not a PlayStation 4 exclusive, but what was your favorite moment in the Avengers gameplay we got from Gamescom? So yeah, we talked about it when we saw the leaked footage, but we even saw even more with the now 19-minute demo. So Kyle, what did you see? What did you like?
I'm a real big fan of detail.
Okay.
And like making it feel like the world is lived in and things are going on and not just stopping for what's on screen. So seeing Black Widow fly through the stage and seeing the other heroes in the background still doing hero things, and you can see them calling out to Black Widow while she's taking on Taskmaster, is my favorite moment in that trailer for sure. To me, that helps put my mind at ease that they know the characters and they're going to get them right.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, my favorite moment. So, first of all, I think my least favorite had to be Thor because it just kind of looked like knockoff God of War. But it still looked dope.
I feel like he would hit harder. Just a little.
I think he's doing that because he doesn't want to kill him.
That's
what
fair.
I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. When it came to the Hulk, that was actually my favorite bit. The Hulk's traversal, because you're thinking Hulk as like this big hulking beast, right? And I mean, like, he's hitting guys, he's using guys to hit other guys. Like, these guys are not walking away with some type of PTSD and several broken bones, right? Like, these people are in wheelchairs at best, at minimum. But like his traversal, like when he's traversing through the Golden Gate Bridge as it's just totally getting blown up in front of you, you're seeing him hop on like trucks and then hop onto like platforms and then using the infrastructure, ripping it off the ground to throw at enemies. Like, the Hulk gave me the feeling of the Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction game back on the original Xbox. That was so much fun. That's what it gave me the feeling of, and that's what I really liked. Captain America as well is gameplay that I really liked. He hit the shield, and like the sonic boom hit people backwards.
Yeah.
I thought that was sick. And I'll say this one more thing, and I know I'm cheating. The UI was, it was there, but it wasn't intrusive. It was very, I hate to say it, like cinematic feel.
Yeah.
It's very much off to the corners. It's there, but very, you know, very not in your face.
Not obtrusive.
So I liked it. Yeah, it's not intrusive.
It's there if you need it. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I liked what I saw, man. I'm on board.
Excited.
It's a big yay for me. And our last, I think, yes.
Not last. There's one more important one after this one.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Our next
Logan Moore over at Dual Shockers. Yakuza 3, 4, and 5 Remastered are heading west, and the Yakuza 3 out now. Yakuza 3 Remastered will be available to download today, and Sega also announced dates for the next two entries as well. Yakuza 4 Remastered will drop later this fall on October 29th, 2019, and Yakuza 5 Remastered will then arrive early next year on February 11th, 2020. All three games can be downloaded digitally as they arrived over the coming months, or you can hold off and purchase a physical edition of the Yakuza Remastered Collection, which will include all three titles and will launch next February.
Yeah, that was my fault. Bohotep writes in, he goes, what are your thoughts about the announcement of the Yakuza Remastered Collection that includes 3, 4, and 5? Would you have rather have a Yakuza Kiwami 3, 4, and 5 instead? I'm not a big Yakuza guy. I think it's really weird how they're rolling it out. Like, it's over time. Like, so you buy this single thing for $59.99, and you just trust that over time they're going to fulfill their obligations. That's what I strike.
It's definitely a weird rollout. Yeah. But like, I'm like you. I've never played a Yakuza game. But I've heard so many good things about Yakuza, and people love Yakuza. Yeah. So maybe I'll check it out. Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, after this crazy semester's over, sure. But with that, Kyle, let's get to the story you've been waiting all night for. I'm just gonna let you have it.
Oh man, time is here, friends. Final Fantasy VIII Remaster releases September 3rd. Pre-orders available now. This was from Joseph Schaffner from Dual Shockers, but that's all you really need to know. September 3rd, pre-orders are available. Did I pre-order it the moment Joe texted me the date? Yes, I did. Was I pumped and gave me a boost of energy the rest of the day? Yes, it did. Did I ask for the date hours before the date was given? Yes, I did. I'm so excited to finally play one of my favorite Final Fantasies, and probably, if I really think back about it, probably one of my favorite games ever. Over and over and over again on my PS4, on my big TV. Yeah, I'm super pumped. By the way, yes. Mr. Hypecaster, he was talking some smack on Twitter. He was like, now I finally get to play it on the go. And I said, well, you could have played it on the Vita. And he shook his head at me.
You know what, Antonio?
Come on, Antonio.
Come on. You know what? No. Shame. Shame on you,
but
Antonio.
Will I double dip and buy it also on the Switch? Yes, I am.
It's what? How much is it? It's $20 bucks, right? Yeah. Now, a lot of people are complaining about the price. Like, it's too expensive. You don't care, obviously.
It's perfect. I think. What would they want? 1510. No, it's a remaster. What do you expect?
Listen, I don't know.
They got rid of the jank visually. Like it's not like have you seen the meme though about Squall's head?
No, I have not.
Oh my god. There's a line from oh my god, why am I blanking on her name? This is embarrassing.
Linda.
Renoa. Renoa.
I was close.
They're at a ball or something, and she says something to the likes of, "Oh, you're the most handsomest boy here," or something, and they zoom in on the PS1 polygons, and they're just jagged lines all over his face. And that's what PlayStation, I think last week, tweeted out, just a picture of his zoomed in, and it's like perfectly smooth, and you can see his facial features. So yeah, I think that alone, just the visually touch up, is perfect, and $20 is a steal.
I'm happy that you're happy. That's all I can say. Yeah. You know,
that's one I can check off. it has happened. Now give me Resistance, give me Star Ocean 2 remaster, and I'll be okay for a while. I'll be complacent.
With that, Kyle.
Yeah.
What's the next bit of news? It's actually I thought this was big news, so this is not flash news anymore. We're getting to the big juicy stuff.
Austin Goslin over at Polygon writes, crossplay is coming to PUBG on consoles. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is getting cross-platform play on consoles, the game developer PUBG Core announced during the Inside Xbox Gamescom presentation on Monday. According to developers, the goal is to have PUBG cross-platform play available for testing on the PUBG test servers by late September, and available for all players on live servers in early October.
Now, this is awesome news, right? This is another domino to drop in the thing that is crossplay, that inevitability of crossplay. And it was weird that it wasn't announced at Inside Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
Of all things, I just thought that was strange. I don't know. Awesome to see, that's for sure. Kyle, my thoughts to you is, what are your thoughts coming out of this with PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds now being crossplay? What is it? Call of Duty having crossplay as well. Who's next, man? Who's next?
It's got to be Fortnite, right?
No, Fortnite's that's the thing. Fortnite already got crossplay. Remember, we're not angry at
that's right. Anymore. That's right.
Rocket League, Dauntless.
Yeah.
I don't even know anymore.
You know what would be cool?
What's that?
One of these sports games.
That's what I was just thinking.
Like Madden or NBA, NHL. Yeah, one of these games to have crossplay. Because those games are huge.
Yeah, like Madden 2K especially. That'd be awesome to see them have crossplay. Yeah. God, it's happening, dude. Next generation's gonna get so
also
weird.
Was this the last Hail Mary pass for PUBG? Like, hey, we're relevant still.
I think this is them trying to retain the audience they have and to make them happy. You know, they're not doing bad. They're just not making, the income that they used to make. I don't think they're going away, but yeah. This is them trying to be a part of the conversation for sure.
Yeah.
Kyle, what's the next story that we got here?
Chandler Wood, which is a great name, Chandler,
dude,
at PS Lifestyle. Sean Layden confirms Sony Studios could make multi-platform games with broader distribution. Ooh. In an interview regarding Sony's PlayStation exclusive strategy moving forward, Sony's Sean Layden committed to exclusive titles, but also hinted that some Sony studios may seek audiences beyond the shores of their own console. Bloomberg notes that this will most likely apply to multiplayer titles designed to be played on personal computers. Quote, we must support the PlayStation platform. That is non-negotiable. That said, you will see in the future some titles coming out of my collection of studios, which may need to lean into a wider installed base, end quote. Layden's wording here is interesting. He definitively states that we will see future titles from Sony Studios that may need to lean into a wider install base. It sounds like the strategy here may not be fully ironed out, but with crossplay becoming a more and more popular feature in modern games and Microsoft cozying up to Nintendo and PC, it wouldn't be surprising to see Sony adopt a similar tack.
And then to just go on on that story as well. Ready Set Heroes races to release on the 1st of October. This comes from Sammy Barker at Post Square. I got this for you, Kyle, and it looks like Ready Set Heroes fits the bill. Developed by Robot Entertainment and scheduled for release 1st of October on PlayStation 4, the title will also be published by the Japanese giant on the Epic Games Store. The competitive dungeon crawler where you and up to 3 others will race your way through a randomly generated arenas, leveling up as swiftly as possible in order to conquer a winner-takes-all arena brawl at the end. So it looks like this is the first game that Sony is publishing to make its way to the Epic Store as well. So, Kyle,
yeah,
what does this mean for you as seeing it on the green side, right? Microsoft,
sure,
they're putting their games on whatever platform they freaking can, right? Like we saw Ori now is on the Switch, it's on Steam. We're seeing Cuphead going on Steam. It's going to be, it's on Switch.
Yep.
You're seeing Gears of War is going to be on Steam as well as Xbox. What is
Gears of War pop on mobile?
That's all they got, dude. Oh god, Luke Lord was just like, you know, guys, I'm really excited for Gears of War pop. I'm like, oh god, you're so white, you know. God, he loves Anthem. Anyway, but like thinking about this, what are your thoughts? Because a lot of people they like to shut on Xbox every time they make something weird and out the ordinary. Is this something that we should rightfully shit on PlayStation as well? Like, what is your immediate reaction? What games does Sean Layden mean going to wider audiences?
Part of me feels like what he means by some might be are ones that they're not fully not confident. What's the word? Oh my god. And proud isn't the right word either.
Yeah, they don't know will sell the units needed.
Thank you. Yes,
like,
confident. The ones that they're not super confident in that will sell like hotcakes.
But I mean, we got games like Death Stranding rumored to hit the PC, right?
Sure, yeah, and since I mean we still don't really know what this game is still, it's still kind of like a mystery of what kind of game that is and how that will sell to us. Like how many people are actually going to go out and buy this game and actually stick with it and recommend it. But I think it's smart for them to put it on PC, honestly.
How so?
More people play the games, and if they like that game, then they'll go buy a PlayStation and go play these other exclusives like Last of Us, because or whatever will be strictly on console. It's also gives another place for them to kind of compete with Microsoft on PC.
Right.
Like, yeah, they don't have Game Pass, but who knows? Maybe PlayStation will have PlayStation Now. Maybe an upgraded version of it on PC, and to combat that, which they need to do a huge job if that's the deal.
And I think that's what they're kind of building up to. So I think this is Sony talking about dipping their toe in the water, right? Of seeing what another platform is like. So like what I see this as is Sony saying, get ready, because we're going to do the same shit Xbox is doing, but just at a smaller scale. I really do think the next generation is about platforms, and is about where you're going to be putting your platform on different devices. I really do think that is it, and I think that's what this kind of outlines, is a way to say, hey, look, Death Stranding, you could get it. We're published. You know, we're publishing this on PC because we know PC players, most of them aren't going to make the jump to our platform, right? PC audience is a very dedicated audience, and for the ones that maybe have an Xbox, this is still a way, and a PC instead of a PlayStation. This is still a way for them to kind of get that money from a different well as well. So it's a way of like kind of diversifying where you're getting your profit from. You know, it's like, yeah, I'm getting it for my PlayStation. That's the main ecosystem. But we also have these offshoots right here that are going to net us some income as well. So to me, I've never been against the idea of Microsoft throwing their first parties out into the wild of the PC marketplace. And so I can't shame PlayStation for doing it either. I think it's a great move, and I don't think I think people think very two-dimensionally. I've seen people think like PlayStation's just copying, Microsoft's homework.
Sure.
I think they're just both following very similar paths because they both understand the threat of something like Stadia brings.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, real quick before we move on,
Yeah.
how cocky is Sean Layden in this quote? That said, you will see in the future some titles coming out of my collection of studios.
Yeah.
Really, Sean? Okay,
it's mine. Yeah, so, no. I love how Sean Layden talks, though.
Yeah,
it's very.
absolutely.
It's.
You know what's a fun game to play?
What's that?
A fun game to play is go back and watch old press conferences from E3 and when he's on stage, and just count how many times he touches his hands together. It's like he stands in front and just kind of goes like this for a long period of times, and he uses like the connected hands as pointing.
I like it. Yeah, okay. You'd be drunk within the first 3 minutes, man.
Absolutely.
With that, Kyle, the last bit of news: Death Stranding gameplay has been shown at Gamescom. What are your thoughts? And just as you're contemplating, here's kind of pretty much what we saw out of what was like the 9 minutes of gameplay. Normus
there was
Reedus,
a character trailer or two, right?
Yeah. One of, I believe her name was Mama.
And then a deeper look at the BBs.
The BBs and Del Toro's character.
Die Hard Man, I think.
Yes. And so we see Norman Reedus wake up, and immediately he's got a bust of piss like we all do. And he's peeing.
I thought you'd said enormous Reedus.
That's what I did.
Like, that kind of fits with the urine thing right there.
It was my slur. I played the drinking game for about 5 seconds. So yeah, we see him waking up. He's got a bust of piss, so you could pee in this game. That's exciting. He pees.
Did you notice that a mushroom grew after he peed?
Yep, that's cool, I guess. He has to walk up this, traverse through the mountain. The first thing that I have to say is really interesting is how he's walking is not like how video games walk, where it's just like a flat surface, you actually feel like he's stepping over stuff, which I thought was kind of cool.
He's moving with the terrain.
Yeah, he's moving with the terrain. And so, he's traversing up this mountain. He goes into a hut, and he activates someone called Luden's Fan, and it's Jeff Keighley.
Yeah.
I knew that immediately, and I was just like, wow. All right,
so
this
excited.
is the game we're
I'm
getting.
so happy.
Hologram him talks to Norman Reedus.
He delivers the package.
He delivers the package.
They went there,
Yep. He also puts the necklace down on this thing, and that's how he activates Jeff Keighley, and the Winter Gamer probably. He's like, God damn it, I gotta kill again. Then he walks down this mountain, and he's kind of traversing, and you see you have to press the paddles, or else he'll just tumble down the mountain.
You missed something.
Where he cradles the baby.
He backs up from this thing, and he's saying goodbye to Jeff Keighley.
Yeah.
And then he falls off the cliff.
Oh,
and
right.
He hits, and instead of what I think a traditional health meter is, the baby inside the pod gets agitated, and you have to take him off and cradle the baby back to a calming state, and then you can move on. Also, Kojima said it uses the PS4 DualShock motion, so you have to cradle the controller. He also mentioned there are other cameos, familiar faces that we might see, which is interesting. What other celebrities did he rope into this game?
Kyle, you seem way more on board than I can ever be.
Oh, for Death Stranding?
Yeah.
I'm kind of into how weird and quirky it is, and this is coming from someone who did not really, really get into Metal Gear Solid. How insane that it got. I am kind of into it. I want to know what this whole Strand genre is about. We also saw a USA map.
Yeah.
Of connecting things, and I think he's going from the East Coast to the West Coast.
Yeah. So there's a behind the doors viewings that some people are seeing. I couldn't find the article here, but essentially what the story is about is, and getting as less spoiler as I can, just the brief 2-paragraph summary, is Norman Reedus has to deliver this message from one side of the country to the other side of the country. And he's following the footsteps or the trail of the President of the United States' daughter, who also took a similar path before this game starts. And his mission is to find her, to relay this message of hope, and to try to bridge and connect the country again. And this Death Stranding, while there are a terrorist organization that wants to do whatever they can to engulf the planet in the Death Stranding. Honestly, that description had me way more pumped. Every bit of dialogue that we saw, like when he's talking to Mama, when he's talking to Guillermo over there, and when he's talking to Heartman, like all these interactions, I'm just like, man, this seems, the story has me hooked. Like, that's why I'm buying this game, but the gameplay does look like a walking sim.
Sure.
And that's where I'm just like, is this gonna be the Red Dead Redemption 2 of this year, where Kojima forgets that this is a game?
Sure.
That's my worry, because I did not see anything from that gameplay that got me excited.
I'm very curious as to why, and I know they're shooting in this game.
Yeah.
Because in I think the last batch of trailers, he was shooting.
Yeah.
I'm very curious as to why we haven't seen much of that part of the game. And we know there are these big evil bad guys, Mads Mikkelsen and Troy Baker's character. What are those interactions like? We know that Kojima loves boss battles.
Yep. What
are the boss battles going to look like in this game, if there are any? Like, there's still a lot of questions, but I'm okay with waiting to playing that game to figure those out.
Famous Seamus asks us, from a scale of 1 to 10, how confusing do you think Death Stranding will be? Can we go off this fucking scale?
Yeah, exactly.
But, like, are you on board? Because I'm a little hesitant. And, like, Kojima put out a tweet going, there's one exclusive trailer of Death Stranding called Briefing, showing at Sony PlayStation booth. It explains what Sam, the player, will be doing in the game. And I think you'll understand the more concrete purpose of the game. So, a lot of people are like, okay, Kojima, let's stop being so fucking edgy. All right, get your head out of your own ass for a second and tell me what I'm doing in this game, because we're getting down to the wire, and I still don't know why I should be giving you $60 and up. So, are you still on board? Is this still a day one for you? Are you a little worried?
I'm a little worried. I'd be okay if it was a walking sim game, but I want to see some kind of action there, like dispersed throughout while I'm walking across the country, apparently. But I'm still buying it day one. I will try to figure out what was going on. I might have to take notes. I feel like, or
you definitely will, dude.
Or watch cutscenes again, like on YouTube afterwards, just in case I miss something. But yeah, I'm in.
I'm still in. I need to know what this game is, man. Like, the story has me, the gameplay doesn't, and that's the thing that concerns me. So, I'm on board, but if the next trailer I don't see anything, I'm definitely downgrading the pre-order. Because I can't take that big of a chance, you know? Even for a Reedus fetus. Can't do it. And he can't bring it to Missouri or whatever. Anyway, let's get to the next segment. Kyle, it's been 2 weeks, and I know you might be a little rusty, but are you holding on to something?
Let me get my seatbelt in. Can you imagine if that's how I spent my 2 weeks? I installed seatbelts.
All right, Joe, I'm ready.
All right, I'm ready.
Prepare the drop. Each and every week, PlayStation releases more games to the PlayStation storefront. The only problem is that there are way too many awesome games to just list. So Joseph and Kyle have both got one game that's piqued their interest. This week, Joseph's pick, Rad. Rad is a 3D action roguelike set in a post-apocalyptic world where humanity has faced Armageddon not once, but twice. Playing as a teenage protagonist, you venture into the Follow, an ever-changing radioactive wasteland filled with unknown and unspeakable creatures.
Man, Joe, that was your best one yet.
Thank you.
Yeah, we both played Rad at PAX.
Yeah. I want to see how it's changed because a lot of people liked it.
Same.
I didn't. I wasn't a big fan of it, but
I love the name Rad.
That's a good name.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
My pick is a Remnant from the Ashes. Remnant from the Ashes is a third-person survival action shooter set in a gasp post-apocalyptic world overrun by monstrous creatures. As one of the last remnants of humanity, you'll set out alone or alongside up to 2 other survivors to face down hordes of deadly enemies and epic bosses, and try to carve a foothold, rebuild, and then retake what was lost.
Dope.
Yep. I'm just counting down. Honestly, I'm just counting down the days till Control next week.
Yeah,
that's what I'm waiting for.
Let me tell you something. Me too. That and Man of Medan, because Fiona wants to play.
Yeah.
Fiona wants to play with me, and you know
things will get spooky, and she will rue the day when she wanted to play Man of Medan.
So yeah, I'm pretty pumped. With that, let's get into our final bit of the show, and that is Andrew House's snail mail. Now, you can send your questions over to us at the Cassidy Bad Bit Discord server, or you can send your questions in to at PS Trophy Room on Twitter, or you can find Andrew House's house address. It's simple, but you know, Podbean will not let me post the RSS feed if I say it out loud, but I'll do it in Morse code. Ready?
Oh, man.
I think that's how Morse code works.
Was that ... / or dot? Okay, got
No, it was B boo boo bop. Boo boo bop.
Got it.
That's his address. If you could decipher that code, you got it. And then I steal Andrew House's mail every single week, and I bring it to the show. This week, I stole a couple of like foreclosure things, signs, some bills. He doesn't care. He doesn't have a worry in the world.
I hope you're okay, Andy.
You know what? You can't get hurt if you don't know what's coming, you know? Al Vader asks, what is your fave game of the year so far? And going into the release season, what could top it? Mine, Kyle, if I can go first.
Please. Definitely
Plague Tale. If you guys haven't played Plague Tale, please go do it. It's from Focus Home Interactive. Amazing story about a teenage girl and her younger brother trying to escape the Inquisition, and it is so freaking good. It's a stealth medieval game, and I was saying this on the Platinum podcast, but like, if you get caught in this game, right, you're just dunzos. Like, if a guy comes up to you, you're a 13-year-old girl, you can't just like karate chop him or, you know, Vulcan neck pinch. That wasn't invented yet. So like, you're just dead. And that's what I love about this game, is it is all about solving puzzles in really unique ways, using the rats to kind of traverse through the environment, because it is during the Black Ages. So it's dope. Check it out, please. And what could top it? I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Honestly, God, I don't think Death Stranding is going to be my game of the year. Because I think, as much as we love Kojima, his head is a little bit too far up his prostate. I think it's either Doom Eternal or Greedfall. I haven't mentioned Greedfall, but game looks freaking dope, and it literally looks like Pirates mixed with Dragon Age. It's also made by Focus Home, or published by Focus Home Interactive. It looks dope. So one of those games could really take it. Yeah. What's yours, Kyle?
I don't have one yet.
Okay.
I haven't finished a game that is released this year yet, or really put in a lot of time in, which sucks, but
how dare you?
I'm excited to hop into. But what I think it might be, if it matches my hype level, it's Borderlands 3.
Yeah.
If it matches that hype that I have for that game, there's no other game of the year for me other than that one.
Yeah, that one's gonna probably take home a lot of victories, or a lot of rewards. With that, let's get to our next question. Fiona asks, what are your top 3 games you're looking forward to that are coming out this fall, September through November? Kyle, what are your, Borderlands?
Borderlands for sure. I won't say a Final Fantasy VIII remaster because like that's duh.
Not fair. Not fair.
I'm intrigued by Jedi Fallen Order.
Shit, that's coming out.
Yeah, that's November. And I won't say Death Stranding as well. I'm trying to think of what else I have pre-ordered because I got a lot pre-ordered.
For me, it's also Borderlands 3. I think I'm really hyped for that game. I think that game's gonna take it.
I mean, honestly, after the story trailer, NBA 2K20.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for what I saw from that. So, I'm hyped for that.
Ugh, sports game. Doom Eternal. I'm just so ready for that game. Surprisingly enough, Jedi's not on there. I don't know why. It'll get there. Don't worry. But I would think so. Borderlands, Doom. Oh man, I just had it and I totally blanked. There are so many games coming out in the span of September to November, and it's freaking insane. If I wanted to stay on the Sony, Call of Duty, I think I'm getting pumped for it. But if I had to say outside of the Sony sphere, it is definitely Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. What I played was fantastic.
I forgot 2 games.
What's that?
Concrete Genie. I'm super excited for.
So good, yeah.
Also, it was there and that was gone again. I looked up the Outer Worlds.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Outer Worlds as well.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm not. I'll hold off probably till January. But with that, Sean Capri asks, many content creators are speaking out against crunch to help ensure developers maintain a healthy work/life balance. For their own healthy work/life balance, cough cough, who dat ninja 73, cough cough. Look at yourself, Sean Capri. You have 2 children.
Yeah. Yeah. So fun fact, when I did Sean's podcast, We the Gamercast, he asked me this on there, and I cried like a baby. It's not going to happen now.
Okay.
But it's something I'm still very bad at and something I need to work on because I love creating content with you, Joe. I love doing my other shows. I love being involved in various different communities and helping out whatever way I can. But, you know, real life comes first for many people, myself included. And when you have 3 beautiful little girls that look up to you, you kind of have to be there for them. And working so much because you're broke as a joke, like it's a lot.
Yeah.
So it's something that I need to be better at, and I think a lot of people will probably say be better at it. But take some me time is what I need to do.
Yeah.
And just to kind of recenter myself and get back to doing what I want to do and what I love to do, which is play games. Because I know you listeners out there are tired of hearing me say I haven't played shit. Believe me, no one is as tired of me saying that than me. So yeah, I definitely need to find that balance. Sean, you need to teach me some ways.
Yeah, man.
Because I think not only myself, but a lot of people will be better off for it. So,
so one way of maintaining a healthy work ethic when it comes to creating content, it's hard. Like some creators don't have that opportunity, right? Like people that are making a living off this, some are barely or even below the poverty line that are doing this. It's hard to just say, hey, take a minute to yourself. But honest to God, for me, this works. It's something I'm looking at where I'm looking at this last semester, and I already have some shit in front of me that I have to shovel out, and I'm just like, how am I gonna balance trying to make content, you know, at least 2 to 3 times every week with the trophy room not included, and then also to work this job that's practically full-time on top of that. It's gonna be really difficult, and it is trying to find those moments of like, the grind ain't easy, the grind's hard, and the grind is unrelentless, but you have to keep working and chipping at it, but also taking time to not just reflect, but own, not to dwell on your losses, but to kind of take the victories where you can, whether it's you, whether it's me, whether you're seeing someone do something really awesome. Like Sean Capri told me something I can't say, and I'm not allowed to say it, but it's so awesome. And I'm just like, it's also like seeing other people's success. Don't get jealous of it. Just be there for them, because when others succeed, you succeed. It's something that we here at the Trophy Room really try to do. Like, I don't bring patches in because I think we're going to, earn brownie points with females. You know what I mean? I bring patches here because I think she's a great creator, and I think I need to shine a light on people like her that make awesome content. Same with Amy from Words About Games, right? I brought her on because there's not enough trans people's voices out there, and she does amazing work. Same with Derek from SDGC and all that jazz. I bring these people on because they have something to say, and they're really awesome people, and their voices need to be heard, and that's what we need to do. So like, my thing is like lifting each other up, celebrating each other's victories. That is something that I like to do. I like to be in as many streams as I possibly can to support people. I don't just say it, I do it. I try my best to. So to me, it's really just taking a moment and reflect on the awesome things that you and other people are doing. That's how I do it. And then also realizing that like there needs to be time for me. Yeah, like I have to set something for, I tune my brain off from everything and just focus on what needs to get done. So absolutely. And for me, that I need to be better at specifically not having that me time super late at night, because then that affects me during the next day. And it's tough, and I know you listening out there, even if you're not creating content, finding me time is super difficult. I've been there. Just know you're not alone, and we'll get through it. We'll find that me time, and we're gonna go crush it. Yeah, seriously. And like real talk, today I made a video. It took 4 hours to make. And then I forgot I had to ask people for questions, and then I had to finish up the notes, and that took about an hour and change. We did this episode, it took about an hour and change. I'll be editing this video, and it's going to take an hour and change. So, like, add that up. I don't want to. You could do it at home, and understand that, like, that's just one day. Yeah. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing something else. So it's really getting your schedule down, knowing when's me time, celebrating others' victories, and sharing that love with each other. At the end of the day, we're never competing with each other, and I think that's the most important thing. Get the competitiveness out of your system. If you see someone's success, that doesn't mean you lost. Celebrate it. And so, like, with that said, too, again, our friends at the Xbox Drive, they've been the past few weeks, and just seeing them hit milestones, seeing them at E3 this year is like inspiring, and it's so freaking great to see our friends do really great. Absolutely. When we see people like the Megadads have Khalif Adams on, and they're talking about burritos outside of a Pep Boys. It's awesome. So yeah, celebrate the small stuff, man. With that said, that's all we got here for the Trophy Room. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please, 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 please. Yeah, after that talk of grinding and crunch and all that, if you guys could, please hit us with a 5-star review on iTunes. It means the world to me if you can do that. And past few weeks have been rough, but it's your kind comments. Adam Leonard came up to me the other day in a private message, and he just goes, "Joe, I think you have a fine show." And I was just like, thanks. It's really the words of encouragement that really do keep us going. So with all that said, Kyle, is there anything you would like to pimp out this week before we go?
As always, I'd like to plug myself at WhoDatNinja73. I think I just said my name wrong. At WhoDatNinja73 on Twitter and on PSN. My show, all about the kind of funny community, called Best Friends Talk Funny, is on Twitter at BFS Talk Funny, and wherever you listen to podcast services. New episodes should be recording soon again in a couple of weeks. So I'm very excited to get back to that. And then just a nerdy pop culture show with my Kinda NYC fam called Dollar Slice Podcast. You can listen to that wherever, and at Dollar Slice Pod on Twitter. We might actually have a developer of an indie game on the show soon.
Ooh.
Which remind me, Joe, after we're done recording, to tell you about this game because I feel like you would love it.
Oh, see these two connections being made. Yeah. With that, you can find us, this show, on Bad Bit Games on YouTube each and every Thursday. You can find the show also on RSS feeds around the globe, whether that is Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, Overcast, wherever there's an RSS feed, you can find us there. Rate us 5 stars. And with all that said, with all that out of the way, keep hunting and keep playing PlayStation.
Don't forget, Seamus, to send us